Without getting political, I think it's safe to say we are going to be facing some hard times this year. And I'm hoping over the next couple of months to be doing some hard time videos on how to mitigate them. But today I want to talk about a topic which is especially close to my heart because I eat so much produce, so much fruit and so much vegetables, and it's how to get fresh produce for free, which is especially important if you don't have your own garden, and most of us don't or can't or whatever. I just want you to know that everything that I'm going to suggest in this video, I have done myself and continue to do myself, and a new opportunity just came up this evening. So let's get started. Okay, the first way is to do some gleaning. And sometimes the gleaning requires a little bit of physical labor, sometimes it doesn't. And what gleaning is when people have an overproduction of produce or fruit trees, and they just invite the community to come in and take and pick. These can usually be accessed by following social media sites. Every community has social media sites of one type or the other. And there's also local websites which will post farmers or individuals who have excess produce. I've used this once. A housemate and I saw something on one of those websites for figs, and we ran out. It was about 20 minutes away. We got in the car and got on a ladder and brought a huge couple of baskets, and we ended up with a whole bunch of these beautiful figs completely for free. Another time I saw on Facebook that this guy was trying to clear out his parents' orchard, and they had apples and pears, and he was inviting the community to come in and pick them. And the deal with that is if the community comes in and picks them, then they don't fall on the ground. And if they don't fall on the ground, you certainly eliminate a lot of cleanup and a lot of rodents and a lot of animals that will come in and eat them off the ground. So there's definitely a plus to that. So I grabbed a couple of grocery bags and drove over there and picked a bunch of fruits, and even had vegetables in the garden, picked those and made his burden a little less and my haul a little bigger. Every once in a while you will see somebody who will ask for a little bit of money, maybe per bag or per pound or something, and it's so minimal that it's almost free, but that's your call. The second thing I've done is just walked around my neighborhood. I lived in an area of, probably about an hour away from here for many years, about 4 or 5 years, and one day I was taking a walk, and there was an apartment complex, kind of a small apartment complex nearby that had this big front yard, and evidently this front yard had been an orchard at one point, and they had lots of trees in there at the front of the property, and there was a sign up that said, please pick as many apples and pears as you want. And I did. And then every fall after that, I would walk by and wait till I saw that sign and go in and do it again. Again, for the same reasons as the other guy did. He just had an excess and it would make a mess, and why not just open the opportunity up? And this was really nice because it was right around the corner, and I happened to see it because I was walking by. And there are fruit trees and citrus trees all over the place. And if you're going to take them, make sure at least you have permission. Always good to knock on the door and ask if you want. And if they say no, then fine, no. But if they say yes, then awesome. I don't think there's any shame in asking. And again, often these trees produce way more than people can use. I've also done bartering. And bartering is sort of between gleaning and buying. It's done on social media. I've done it on Facebook. This community where I live now does not have an effective bartering network because it's small population and everything is so far away. It's just not sustainable. But when I lived in a larger community, more densely populated community, I would do bartering with people. I especially did it for pomegranates and for persimmons, which I love and which are always very expensive. And I have traded hand knit hats, toilet paper, fiction books, all sorts of crazy stuff for grocery bags full of persimmons or full of pomegranates. So if, again, it's a social media thing, and if you have a barter group, I would definitely pay attention. I've also traded lemons out for things that I wanted in. So, And of course, other people's gardens. We all know people who have gardens, who have fruit trees, personal friends or personal acquaintances, and often there's times of the year where they have extra, and you might be lucky enough to get it. And if you are lucky enough to get it, the first thing you're going to do is to thank them. You're going to thank them by making something for them. I have made zucchini bread, I have made peach pie, I've made apple pie, I've made all sorts of things out of what people have given me. I have one neighbor that gave me some pumpkins in the fall, and guess who got pumpkin bread first? It was them. And people appreciate that. I know that sometimes they give things away because they want to give things away because they have too much and they don't want it to waste. But it's very nice to thank them in a way that is material, in a way you can touch and feel and taste and eat. And this is translated into some interesting things. People know you make something and they'll bring you more of it. Even if they weren't the person who originally gave it to you, they see that you make zucchini bread, you make pumpkin bread, you do this, that, or the other, and they will bring you more of it, which is awesome. I've also had people give me cookware, nice cookware. I have 2 different episodes of videos on my channel of people who've given me cast iron cookware because they don't know what to do with it. But they figure since I cook and bake so much, I know what to do with it. So I did not expect that, but that was very nice. And not only did I get a lot of nice produce, but I also got some cookware out of the deal. And if you do have friends who have gardens, be useful to them. I've done house sitting and garden sitting, watering and checking on things, and been rewarded with produce because people wanted to get away. That was awesome. And speaking of the pumpkin bread I mentioned earlier, I posted on my community page that pumpkin bread came from pumpkins from my neighbor's garden, and they had the pumpkin plant because I had grown a pumpkin seedling for them. So they gave me the pumpkins after they'd grown. I made the pumpkin bread, brought it right back to them. But that was so successful that actually he came by tonight, my neighbor, and he asked me when I was starting seeds. I said, soon. I said probably the end of April, and he didn't look so happy about that. And I said, would you like me to start some for you now? And he said yes. So I am going to be starting all of his seeds for the garden. We talked about what he wanted. I talked about what I had. And he's always been generous to me with the produce anyway, but I feel better about it if I can save him some money by starting these seedlings. I was at one of the stores, either Walmart, I think it was at Walmart, something like that, where they're starting to set up the the seedlings for the spring, and they are $5 a piece for one container, $5. So if you want to put 10 plants in, it's $50. That's bad. I can do 10 plants, no problem, free. Just send me some produce at the end, and people do, they do. So this is something you can do even if you don't have a garden, even if you don't have an outdoors, you can do that because I'm going to be doing it inside with a grow light in my living room. So even if you don't have your own garden, and if you don't have any outdoor space, you can still start seedlings for people in trade for getting produce later. You could even sell them. You can sell your seedlings on a Facebook Marketplace. I've seen people do that. So you'd have a little extra money. And again, I'm doing mine in the house right now with grow lights. I'm going to be starting them probably in the next couple of days. So again, I want to reiterate that every single one of these suggestions I have done or am currently doing myself, and they've all worked. So do you have any suggestions for getting free or very, very low cost produce without a garden? What do you do? Prices are going up, and they're going to go up even more, and we have to be resourceful. I would love to hear what you think and what you suggest. Thank you so much for watching.